If you're a business owner in the US, you definitely know the feeling. Managing the finances can honestly feel like a second, full-time job. But what if the solution wasn't just down the street, but halfway around the world? Today, we're going to explore why that's becoming such a game-changing strategy. Does this sound a little too familiar? It's a feeling shared by so many entrepreneurs and managers. You know, that constant pressure of financial admin is just relentless, and it pulls your focus away from what really matters: actually growing the business. So this brings up a really big question. With all the financial talent we have right here in the US, why are so many companies starting to look towards India? Well, it's a huge strategic shift, and we're about to break down exactly why it's happening right now.
Okay, first things first, we really need to understand the problem that we're trying to solve here. This isn't just about a little extra paperwork. It's about a genuine financial overload that a ton of companies are wrestling with.
Look, the modern business landscape is just incredibly demanding. Regulations are getting tighter all the time, new financial tech is popping up constantly, and on top of that, there's this expectation for perfectly accurate financial data, like yesterday. Trying to keep up with all of that in-house, it can be absolutely exhausting and incredibly expensive.
And these hidden challenges, they go deep. I mean, think about it. The high costs of just hiring and training qualified staff in the US, the constant stress of hitting payroll and tax deadlines, and the very real risk of one single costly error. It all adds up to an internal team that's just bogged down in admin instead of focusing on the big picture.
So in the face of all these challenges, businesses aren't just trying to cope anymore. They're making a major strategic pivot. They're turning to what's become known as the Indian advantage.
And let's be crystal clear about this. This isn't some temporary, cost-cutting trend. We're talking about a fundamental turning point in how U.S. companies are building their financial foundations for, long-term stability and real growth.
So why India, specifically? Well, it's this really unique combination of factors. You're tapping into a massive pool of highly trained finance pros, many of whom are chartered accountants, who already have expertise in U.S. standards. You add in strong communication skills, a culture that's very process-driven, and a rock-solid infrastructure for remote services, and the advantage becomes pretty obvious.
Okay, so we've covered the why, but what does this actually look like in practice? Let's get down to it and break down the specific services that businesses are outsourcing every day.
Let's start with what might be the most underrated time saver of them all: payroll. Come on, this is a job with literally zero room for error. It's packed with deadlines and super complex compliance rules. Outsourcing it just removes a massive, recurring headache from your plate. And the result of that? It's basically a clear path to just peace of mind. You get smooth, accurate payroll cycles every single time. You get full compliance with US regulations, and the administrative burden on your team is essentially dropped to zero.
The transformation you see in bookkeeping is just as dramatic. Seriously, businesses go from struggling with totally disorganized records to having true financial control. This shift from chaos to clarity, that is what enables confident, data-driven decisions, which is the absolute foundation of any successful business. And what about tax season? For CPA firms especially, it's the most intense time of the year. Offshore tax preparation provides a critical support system. They can handle everything from creating work papers to completing forms, which allows firms to serve more clients without completely burning out their own staff.
So let's bring it all together now and look at the ultimate payoff, because this is about so much more than just getting a few tasks done more efficiently.
So what do companies actually report back after they make this switch? Well, it's not just one single benefit. It's this amazing holistic improvement across the board. We're talking higher productivity, much better accuracy, way greater cost efficiency, and faster turnarounds on all those critical reports. And this quote right here, this really just hits the nail on the head. When leaders aren't buried in back-office administration, they can finally focus on strategy, on innovation, and on growth. The things that actually drive the business forward. So at the end of the day, this whole strategic shift delivers a trifecta of benefits. You're gaining efficiency in your operations, you're ensuring accuracy in your financials, and you're finally achieving some genuine peace of mind.
And that leaves us with one final provocative thought. Just think about your own business right now. If you could completely remove your single biggest financial or administrative bottleneck tomorrow, what new opportunities would you chase? What would you build next?